I, 39-year-old male, recently got engaged to my fiancée, Anna, 40-year-old female. We haven't set an exact date for the wedding since we're still browsing venues. We're hoping to have it sometime next summer or fall. Anna is a widow and has one daughter, Kara, 21-year-old female, from her deceased husband. They were high school sweethearts that got pregnant straight after graduation. He died 10 years ago in a car crash. Kara, of course, misses him a lot, and I've done nothing to try and replace him. We aren't particularly close, but we get along nicely, and that's fine with me. The rest of her family acts kind of weird around me. Her parents were best friends with her dead husband's parents, so they'd known each other since preschool. Her whole family loved him a lot. It's not like they hate me or anything, but they just really miss him. Every time I see them at a family event, I can definitely count on at least 1 or 2 people bringing up some memory of her deceased husband. Then the whole family talks, laughs, and sometimes even cries over the memories. Of course, I know he was a huge part of their lives, so I can't expect them to just forget him. But it does get sort of awkward when they almost forget that I'm even there. We're gradually getting closer, but they still keep me at arm's length. Any progress is good, I suppose. I know every time they look at me, the only thing they can think about is her husband, who they miss so much. Now, my family has a little tradition with a wedding dress. My mom, who only has 4 boys, pays for her new daughter-in-law's dress to welcome them. When I brought this up to Anna, she just said she'll wear her old wedding dress since it's in good condition and still fits. This isn't a money issue. We could easily afford a new dress in the wedding budget, even without my mom. Anna simply said she just doesn't like the idea of stressing out over a new dress when we have so much more planning to do. It makes me a bit uncomfortable. Her first wedding dress is very sentimental. Since she had her daughter so young, they were too busy and broke to get married until she was around 25 years old. Kara's dad asked her to sit down with her mom and help color a picture of her absolute dream dress. Anna just thought they were going to a store to pick the closest match, but her husband actually had his grandma, who actually passed a month after the wedding, sew the exact design because she was a very good seamstress. Anna looks so happy in the wedding pictures of that dress, and obviously Kara treasures it as well since she saw the design in person at the first wedding. Obviously, the dress is a beautiful design and memento to his memory, but it still makes me a bit uncomfortable. I know every person who sees the dress will only think of her first wedding the entire time. I'm sure her husband was a fantastic guy, and she has the right to mourn him, but I want the wedding to focus on our upcoming life together, not only her painful past. I really want this event to speak for only us as a couple and our own love. Of course, I understand she'll always love her daughter's father, but I want to enjoy time with the guests without them staring and thinking of her first wedding the whole time. Plus, I'm pretty sure Kara won't exactly be thrilled to see her mom wearing the same dress that was such a special memory between her and her dad to marry another man. It almost feels sort of creepy and disrespectful to wear the dress her dead husband and his grandmother went through so much trouble to make. I would bet neither of them pictured her wearing it to marry some other guy who doesn't even know them. I feel like it's a bit disrespectful to their memory. When I told her all of this, she seemed flippant and said I was thinking too much and that it wasn't a big deal. When I requested maybe even getting just a cheaper plain white gown or not, using my mom's offer, she shot me down. She said I was just being jealous and irrational. She seems a bit upset at me now. Some of my friends and my parents say I should have just dropped it when she said no the first time. They say my words made me seem a bit egotistical and petty. I love Anna a lot, and I don't like the idea of making her think I don't fully trust her. Was I just being petty and should apologize? Am I the idiot? Edit. Thank you all for the advice so far. Just wanted to clarify something. Kara was never a 6-year-old art prodigy or anything to design the dress. Anna's family also knew about her dress ideas. Since she discussed it with them, they then told her late husband. I don't know all the details. but I guess he just had Kara draw a cute little picture to help her have fun and be included in her parents' wedding. TLDR. I am marrying my fiancée soon, and she wants to wear the dress she had in her original wedding. That makes me uncomfortable because of all the sentimental value with her deceased husband. I want a dress just for us, not his entire family's memories. She said I'm being paranoid and pushy. I'm wondering if I was too uptight. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Sounds to me like your fiancé is not ready to move on. It's one thing to keep the memories alive, but your wedding day should be about celebrating your relationship and your future. If I were in your place, I would hold off on the wedding. Have a serious conversation with your fiancé. If she keeps shutting you down, that's your answer, not the idiot. Comment 2. What does her daughter think of her mom getting married in the dress she designed for her mom and dad? I think that is the question you need to ask. It doesn't sound like she is ready to move on. Not the idiot. It feels weird to me, too. This is not some off-the-rack dress she has. It is completely tied in to her late husband. Now, for the update. The past 2 weeks have been a whirlwind of emotions and discussions. Anna and I have been trying to navigate the choppy waters of wedding planning, but the dress issue has become a constant undercurrent in our relationship. We've been trying to focus on other aspects of the wedding, like choosing a venue and deciding on a guest list, but the topic of the dress keeps resurfacing, no matter how much we try to steer clear of it. Kara has been surprisingly quiet about the whole situation. I had expected her to have a strong opinion, considering the dress's significance to her and her late father, but she's been keeping to herself. I can't tell if she's avoiding the topic or if she's unsure of how to approach it. Her relationship with Anna seems to be the same, but I've noticed that she's been spending less time around the house. I'm not sure if it's related to the tension or just her being busy with her own life. Anna's family, on the other hand, has been less reserved. Her mother called me to have a heart-to-heart talk. She explained how the dress represented a piece of their family history and how it would mean the world to them to see Anna wear it again. She acknowledged my feelings, but gently reminded me that the wedding was not just about me. It was about Anna, her past, and the family she's bringing with her into this marriage. I understood where she was coming from, but it didn't make me feel any better about the situation. My family has been supportive, but they're also confused about why this is such a big deal. My mom, especially, feels a bit rejected since her offer to pay for a new dress was turned down. She's trying not to take it personally, but I can tell it bothers her. My brothers have been trying to lighten the mood with jokes, but it's clear they're all walking on eggshells around me. Anna and I have had several conversations about the dress. I've tried to express my feelings without making her feel like I'm attacking her past. I suggested we find a new tradition to honor her late husband and his family, something that wouldn't overshadow our day. She listened, but remained firm in her decision to wear the old dress. She believes it's the most practical choice and doesn't see the need to spend money on something she'll only wear once. The tension between us grew when we attended a family gathering at her parents' house. As expected, her late husband's name came up in conversations, and I could feel the eyes on me whenever the wedding was mentioned. I tried to participate and be present, but I felt like an outsider. It was as if the shadow of her first marriage loomed over us, and I was just a stand-in for the real thing. Things came to a head last night. Anna and I were looking through some old photo albums, and we stumbled upon her wedding pictures with her late husband. She smiled as she recounted the stories behind each photo, and I tried to smile along, but it was too much. I excused myself and went for a walk to clear my head. When I returned, Anna was waiting for me. She could tell something was wrong and pressed me to talk about it. I finally broke down and told her how alienated I felt, how it seemed like her heart was still partly with her late husband, and how wearing the dress felt like a symbol of that. She was quiet for a long time before she spoke. She told me that she loved me and that her heart was big enough for both her past and her future. She said the dress didn't change how she felt about me or our life together. We went to bed with the issue unresolved. I lay awake, wondering if I was being unreasonable. I love Anna, and I don't want to start our marriage with resentment or regret. But I also want our wedding day to be about us, not a tribute to a past life. I'm torn between wanting to stand my ground and fearing that I'm pushing Anna away. Now, with the wedding date getting closer, I'm at a loss. I don't know how to move forward without either giving up a part of my happiness or asking Anna to give up something that clearly means a lot to her. It's a dilemma with no clear resolution, and I'm struggling to find the right path. Now, for the comments. Comment 1. Oh man, this takes me back to when my cousin remarried. Her new hubby was all bent out of shape because she wanted to use some heirloom from her first marriage. It's tough, but you gotta remember, it's not about the stuff, it's about the person. Maybe find a compromise? Like, use a piece of the old dress in a new one? Comment 2. Buddy, you're stepping into a minefield wearing clown shoes. I get it. You want your day to be about the shiny new future, not the dusty past. But here's the kicker. Love's about embracing all the baggage, even if it comes in a wedding dress. Try to laugh it off and focus on the honeymoon, Now, for the next story. I, 40-year-old male, have a daughter Claire, 14-year-old female, with my ex Amy, 39-year-old female. Amy and I broke up when Claire was born because she felt like we settled down too soon and felt shackled by our relationship and family. We have always shared 50-50 custody since. I got married to my now wife Jane, 35-year-old female, about 5 years ago. Amy went on to have 2 other kids with 2 different men who aren't involved with the kids. So she has full custody of her 2 other kids, then 50% of Claire. Her 2 youngest sons are 2 and 4. Claire doesn't love her living situation with her mom. The place is crowded, and her 2 younger brothers are just, well, toddlers. She says they don't leave her alone, and she gets no time alone there. So she prefers to stay with me more often now. She also gets along really well with my now wife and wants to spend a lot of time with her. Claire asked me if she can spend Christmas Eve and Christmas Day with me and Jane. Our regular schedule was that Claire spends Christmas Eve with one of us and Christmas Day with the other. Then we switch it around the next year. I told Claire that I can't give her an answer to that without discussing it with her mom. She asked her mom before I could discuss it with her, and Amy called to tell me it's okay and that Claire can spend both days with me because she has her hands full anyway and it would take some work off her plate. I'm excited to have both days with Claire, and so is Jane. Jane actually suggested we go somewhere since we have both days to spend with Claire. So we planned a trip to a beach resort in another city. I called Amy to let her know, and she said it's fine, but she called me back 2 days later asking if there's any chance I can cancel the beach trip and do something in our city, and also include her sons so that she can go and see her family this Christmas. She said her sons don't have passports, so she can't take them to another country with her to visit her family. But this is the only time she has to visit her family because she always has to work. I said I barely know her kids, so it's going to be strange to just take them in and take care of them for however many days she's gone. I want to just relax with my wife and Claire, and taking care of 2 toddlers that I don't even personally know is not my idea of a good Christmas. That's so much pressure, and I haven't taken care of a toddler in about a decade. I also already told Claire about the beach trip, and she was so excited, so simply staying home isn't an option if it's not an emergency. I don't imagine she'll be too happy to have her brothers come along when she complains about being at her mom's house because of them either. I told Amy the reasons above, except that Claire doesn't like being around her brothers, and she said, I'm doing this to punish her for leaving me, and that I could easily take care of her sons, but I'm being spiteful. I told her to stop being ridiculous. We broke up 14 years ago, and I've found the love of my life after that. There's no reason on earth for me to be spiteful. I said I really am sorry to decline her request, but I'd rather just be with my immediate family this Christmas. She said she didn't think I was the type to alienate children out of spite, and she's disappointed in the man I've become. This is the first time since our breakup that we had an argument or anything even close to it. She usually isn't like this, so while I think it's unreasonable of her to expect me to take care of her 2 sons while she's gone, I'm kind of worried I damaged our co-parenting relationship. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Does she have a love interest in her country, or is she using you and your wife as inexpensive babysitters so she can have some party time? Comment 2. Not the idiot. You can't alienate kids who aren't yours. Let her demand the dads take them off her hands for the holidays. Now, for the update. So, after the whole ordeal with Amy, things got a bit tense. I was worried about how this might affect Claire, but she seemed to be handling it okay. She was still super excited about the beach trip, and Jane was doing her best to keep the spirits up, planning all sorts of activities and outings for us to do together. The next day, Amy called again. This time, she sounded more desperate. She said she really needed to see her family and that it had been years since she last visited. She tried to guilt-trip me, saying that I was the only one who could help her out in this situation. I felt bad for her. I really did, but I couldn't just cancel our plans. I suggested maybe she could find a babysitter or ask one of her friends to help out, but she said she didn't trust anyone else with her kids. I told her I was sorry, but the answer was still no. Claire overheard part of that conversation. She asked me if her mom was trying to make us cancel our trip. I didn't want to lie to her, so I told her the truth. Claire got quiet after that. She didn't say much, but I could tell she was thinking hard about something. Later that evening, she came to me and asked if maybe we could do something to help her mom out. She suggested maybe we could take her brothers for just one day so Amy could have a bit of a break. I was torn. I didn't want to disappoint Claire, but I also didn't want to give in to Amy's demands. I talked it over with Jane, and she was understandably hesitant. She was looking forward to our family time just as much as I was, and the thought of taking care of 2 toddlers we barely knew wasn't exactly appealing. But she could see how much it meant to Claire, and she agreed that maybe we could compromise and help out for just one day. I called Amy back and offered the one-day compromise. She was furious. She accused me of not caring about her or her sons and said that if I really wanted to help, I would take them for the whole time she was gone. I tried to stay calm and explain that we had already made plans, but she wasn't having any of it. She hung up on me, and I was left feeling frustrated and angry. The next day, things got even more complicated. Claire came home from school and told me that her mom had been crying when she picked her up. She said Amy had told her that we didn't want to spend time with her brothers because we didn't see them as part of the family. Claire was upset and confused. She loves her brothers, even if they can be a handful, and she didn't understand why we couldn't just change our plans. I tried to explain to Claire that it wasn't about not wanting to spend time with her brothers, but that we had already made plans and it wasn't fair to change them at the last minute. I also told her that it wasn't her responsibility to worry about her mom's situation. But Claire is a smart kid, and she could tell there was more to it than that. She asked me if I was still mad at her mom for leaving us all those years ago. That question hit me hard. I didn't think I was, but maybe there was a part of me that still held some resentment. That night, Jane and I had a long talk. We both agreed that we didn't want to cause any more stress for Claire, but we also felt like we were being put in an impossible situation. We were stuck between wanting to help Amy and wanting to maintain the boundaries we had set for our own family. The following day, Amy sent me a long text apologizing for her behavior. She said she understood why we couldn't take her sons and that she would figure something else out. But the damage was done. Claire was still upset, and now I was left wondering if I had let my past with Amy affect my decision. Now, with only a day left before Christmas Eve, I'm sitting here feeling like I'm in a no-win situation. Claire is torn between her loyalty to her mom and her excitement for our trip. Jane is trying to be supportive, but I can tell she's stressed about the whole thing. And I'm stuck in the middle, trying to be a good dad and a good co-parent, but feeling like I'm failing at both. I wish I could say that everything is resolved and we're all looking forward to a happy holiday. But the truth is, there's still a lot of unresolved tension and emotional turmoil. I just hope we can find a way to get through this without it ruining our Christmas. Now, for the comments. Comment 1. Hey there, I get that you're in a tough spot, but have you asked Claire how she'd feel about her brothers joining for just part of the holiday? Maybe a day trip could work. It's important to keep her in the loop since it affects her too. Just a thought. Comment 2. It sounds like you're trying to balance everyone's needs, which is commendable. Have you considered setting up a separate special day to celebrate with Amy's sons? That way, you're including them without disrupting your holiday plans. It could help ease the tension and show Claire you're making an effort. If you liked this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.